Hi friends, this is attorney Priscilla Denise here, and today we're going to talk about the immigration interview, and I want to give you some tips for when you have your interview, okay? Things that you cannot miss, that are super important and that you should have with you or do so that you can get an approval on your case, okay? Number one, you must relax. Nerves are horrible for interviews. You don't want to alert the officer to the fact that there might be something off about your case. There might not be anything off about your case. Most of the time, there's nothing off about your case, but your nervousness is going to indicate that to the officer, and they might start asking you more questions than necessary, or might get you to admit things that are false, and you admit them because you want to just get on with the process. So number one, relax, okay? If you follow these tips that I'm going to give you today, you are going to be more confident in your interview, and hopefully you're going to get an approval, okay? Number two, dress nicely. If you dress like you don't care, the officer doesn't care about your case either. You gotta show you care, because it shows the officer that you respect the process. And remember, your first impression is always the most important. So you want to put your best foot forward, and you want to make a good impression. You don't want to, wear anything that looks like, you're going to go to the gym. No, you want to show the officer that this was very important for you and you came dressed for the occasion, okay? So that's number two. Number three, study your application. Study every single thing that you answered on that application, because a lot of the questions are going to come from that application. So it's very important for you to know exactly what you put down on that application. Number four, take original documents with you in case the officer would like to examine them. Original documents might be your birth certificate, your children's birth certificate, marriage certificates. Remember, immigration always tells you to submit copies of these. I hope you didn't submit any originals, because it's really difficult to get them back from immigration. But to your interview, you should be taking those original documents so that the officer can examine them if he or she would like, okay? Take your ID. If you do not take ID, or if the person going with you to the interview does not take ID, then this can cause the officer to stop your interview, to maybe tell you to come back at a later date. And as you know, sometimes you're waiting for years for that interview, and you don't want to risk that your next interview is going to be within a month from now or years from now. It's very important that when they're asking you questions, for you to stop and listen to the question asked, and don't interrupt the officer. Officers don't like it when you interrupt them, and it just leaves a bad taste in their mouth, and some of them might just deny you because they don't like you, okay? They are not judges, but they have the power of a judge in this circumstance, okay? So you gotta be very respectful, listen to their questions, and this also helps you to process what they're asking you, and helps you to think, do I know the answer to this question? If you don't know the answer to the question, just say, I don't know. If you can't remember, say, give me a minute, I can't remember, that was a long time ago. If you don't understand the question, tell them, can you repeat the question? I don't understand it. The way you're asking me, I'm not really sure. So all these answers are okay. What's a bad answer is an answer that's not truthful, that you said just because you were nervous, or that you said because they were putting pressure on you. Those are not good for your case, and it can lead an officer to determine that you're not truthful, or that you're inadmissible because you admit something that happened that really didn't happen and you just didn't understand, okay? So, if an officer finds that can lead to either a request for evidence, a delay in the case, a denial in the case, an inadmissibility finding, which can cause that you will never get your green card, okay? So it's very important for you to listen to the question and actually think about what the answer is, and if you actually know the answer, okay? And this is where it's very important for you to have an attorney present with you, because the attorney sometimes can help you. The attorney knows your case. They can help to clarify certain things, and they can be there and make sure that all your rights are being respected. I cannot tell you how many times I've seen cases that should have been approved, and they were straightforward cases, and they come to me after the fact because they didn't hire an attorney, and then they're like, I'm in a big mess, what do I do now? Sometimes it's salvageable and sometimes it's not. It's very, very, very important for you to have legal representation with you at legal proceedings, and immigration is a legal proceeding, okay? So if you have an interview with immigration, please call our office 833-206-4472. We will be happy to go with you to your interview and to make sure that all your rights are being respected and that your case goes in the best manner possible to present itself to immigration, okay? So again, that's 833-206-4472. I hope you find this conversation useful, and please share. You never know who might need this information, and I hope to see you next time.